So, what does it really mean to be a leader in today's world? It's so much more than just managing a team or hitting your numbers. We're going to look at leadership as a two-part journey. First, mastering the crazy, chaotic world around you. And second, and this is the important part, mastering the world inside you. Let's dive in.
Let's start with a fundamental truth, something you just can't get around. You cannot destroy risk. It's always there. Now, the old way of thinking was that a leader's job is to stamp it out, to eliminate it. But the new playbook? It says a leader's job is to transform it, to take that wild, unpredictable energy and turn it into something you can manage, or maybe even turn into a huge opportunity.
And this whole idea of transforming risk, well, it leads us right to the first major role of any modern leader. You've got to be a steward of uncertainty. Look, this isn't about having a crystal ball and knowing the future. It's about being that calm, guiding presence that helps your team find its way through it. But how do you actually do that? Well, it all starts with one core discipline, figuring out what you can actually shape versus what you just have to accept. A great leader knows exactly where that line is. I mean, trying to push against something you can't change, it's not just a waste of time. It's honestly the fastest way to burn yourself and your entire team right out. Okay, so how do we make this idea practical, something you can actually use? There's an amazing model for this, and it's called the circles of control. Stephen Covey came up with this brilliant framework. Just picture three circles, one inside the other. The biggest, outermost circle is your circle of concern. This is everything you worry about, right? From world events to the weather. Inside that, you have your circle of influence. These are things you can nudge, but you don't have direct control over them. But the real power? That lies right in the center. That center circle, that is your circle of control. This is your power zone. This is the area where you have direct authority to make decisions and to take action. The most effective leaders you'll ever meet, they spend almost all of their energy right here, in this circle, because it's the only place where they can create direct, predictable results. So let's make this really concrete. What's actually in your circle of control in a business? Well, things like your target market segmentation. You get to decide exactly who you're serving. The 4 Ps of marketing, your product, your price, your promotion, and your GOPST, your goals, objectives, strategies, and tactics. These aren't just business school terms. They are the actual levers you can pull day in and day out to move your organization forward. All right, so we've figured out that great leadership starts with that internal focus, right, on what you can control. But that's only half the equation. In our super connected world, how you project that leadership outward is just as important. And this brings us to a kind of a wild idea, leadership as showbiz. I mean, just think about it for a second. How much of your day is spent communicating through a screen or a microphone? A leader's vision, their message, even their personality is now basically a performance. Every single Zoom call, every Slack message, every email you send, you are, in a very real sense, on a stage. This means the content of your message, what you say, is really just the starting point. The how, the where, and the with whom you say it can be even more powerful. The tone you take on a video call, the platform you use for a big announcement, the people whose voices you choose to amplify, all of that shapes how your message lands. Context is everything. This all brings up a really crucial question. If leadership is this tricky mix of internal focus and external performance, when is it needed the most? What kind of situation makes true leadership absolutely essential? The truth is, leadership isn't for the calm, easy days. It's made for the storm. It really comes alive in moments of tension. When people are feeling a sense of unpredictability or a feeling of scarcity or the fear of loss, that is the exact moment they look for a leader to be a lighthouse, to give them clarity, hope, and a path forward. And this brings us right back around, full circle. To be that steady hand in the storm, to be that lighthouse for your team, you need more than just good communication skills or a sharp strategy. You need a rock-solid internal foundation. It's time to talk about the inner game. We all love a perfect plan, right? That detailed, beautiful roadmap to success, but we have to face a hard truth. No plan ever survives first contact with reality. The second your strategy hits the real world, it's going to start to bend and break. So if plans are basically designed to fail, why on earth do we even bother making them?
Well, here's the secret. The value was never in the plan document itself. The real value is in the planning, the process you go through to create the plan, thinking through all the what ifs, anticipating problems, getting your resources aligned. That's what prepares you. It's the mental workout that builds the agility you're going to need when things inevitably go sideways.
This kind of mental preparation is only possible if you have the right mindset. Take a look here. If you've got a fixed mindset, a broken plan feels like a personal failure. It's a brick wall. But with a growth mindset, that same broken plan is a gift. It's just data. It's an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to get stronger. For a leader facing constant change, this isn't just a nice to have, it's a non-negotiable survival skill.
There's this famous quote that just captures this idea perfectly. The map is not the terrain. Your plan, your strategy, that fancy degree, that's the map. It's a useful guide for sure, but real leadership happens on the terrain, in the messy, unpredictable real world, with all its sudden storms and hidden paths. A true leader knows how to read the terrain, not just stare at the map. Okay, let's take this one step deeper with a concept that pretty much flips the traditional model of success on its head. Most of us are taught to think like this. If I have the right resources, then I can do the work, and then I will be successful. But the most effective leaders on the planet understand that the universe actually works in the exact opposite way. The true path to getting results starts with being. First, you cultivate the identity of a leader on the inside. You embody the values, the mindset, the principles. From that internal state of being, you then do the things that are aligned with that identity. And the results, the success, all the things you want to have, they just follow as a natural consequence of the first two steps.
And that really leads us to the final and most important thought. The ultimate goal of leadership isn't about what you get, it's about who you become. The truest measure of success isn't the job title or the bottom line. It's the internal transformation that happens on the journey. The real prize is the person you have to become to rise to the challenge. That right there is the journey of leadership.